I expected that the T7 would probably be a bit of a top-heavy, kind of bigger beast to move around. I admit I was a little bit intimidating going from a DR650 to a bigger bike that was taller and heavier. The T7 definitely surpassed my expectations. Like I said, I was a little bit intimidated by its size, but it's so well balanced, it's so stable. The suspension is set up really well for me. I know most guys who are heavier than I am find it to be a little bit too soft, but it's perfect for my weight. Much more confident on it on off-road than I was on my DR650. And I was really, really pleasantly surprised with how smooth the power delivery was. So it is a bit heavier than my DR was, but I was pleasantly surprised that it's actually a little bit easier to pick up. It does carry its weight a little bit higher than most bikes in its class, but the way that it's balanced kind of makes up for that. So from the dealership, it isn't comfortable to ride yet for somebody of my size and weight. So for reference, I'm 5'6". I'm kind of average height for a woman. It is a little bit too tall, unless you're really comfortable riding tall bikes. And I did find that the handlebars were just a little bit too far forward. My arms aren't that long and I really had to reach for them. So those were probably the 2 points about the bike's ergonomics just coming right out of the showroom that were sort of the biggest pieces I wanted to address right away. So I'd say the probably top things to change right away or modify, again, if you're sort of my height and weight, are the height of the bike, either getting a lower profile seat, or in my case, I did put a lowering link on, so it has an 18mm link, so it just makes it a little bit shorter. I left the seat as it is, but I did put gel in there just to be a little bit more cushy. But that's probably the number one thing. The number two thing is the handlebar setup. So I have aftermarket bars on my bike. They are, I can't remember the brand, but they're fat bars, and they have the largest sweep that you can get. So it just brings everything a little bit closer for my short arms. The one finger clutch kit from Camel ADV was probably the next thing for me. And aftermarket foldable, bendable clutch and brake levers. I just found that my fingers were just not, it wasn't comfortable with the sides of my hand to reach the levers. So I did put adjustable levers on to bring things a little bit closer. And then just to soften the clutch pull a little bit, I put the one finger clutch kit, and that eliminated all the cramps that I used to get in my wrist. Apart from that, really it's the creature comforts. I love my heated grips. If you're gonna ride in the winter, that would be the next thing. And then I've done lots of other bits and bobs, but I would say that those are probably the main things that I would do right away. Oh yeah, and of course if you do lower the bike, you want to make sure you put a lower kickstand on as well, otherwise it'll topple over. So altogether, it probably cost me about $400 to get the bike to sort of fit me comfortably riding. And I say that just to fit comfortably riding because I'm not including all of the other things that I have in terms of like bike protection, like crash bars. I've got bark busters on here. So just to make it sort of a comfortable size and fit for myself, it was about $400 worth of mods. So overall, it's a fantastic bike. If you're a little bit shorter like I am, just investing a little bit of time and money into making the bike fit, it works great. And if you were like me and you were maybe a little bit intimidated about going to a bigger bike, a taller bike, a more powerful bike, don't be. The power delivery is so predictable, so linear. You just tweak things a little bit to make it fit, and it's fantastic to ride, and it's so much fun. T7. Off-road. Both? Group ride. Depends. Oh, both. Big Rock Moto. Ryan F9, gotta support the Canadian boy. Itchy boots.